So in the diagram off on the right, we're going to look at it in just a second. A triangle ABC is rotated 180 degrees about the origin to form triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, and you're just asked to list the coordinates of B prime. Where does B go after the rotation occurs? Um, so you'll notice that you weren't told if you're rotating clockwise or counterclockwise, and that's because when your rotation angle is 180 degrees, it doesn't matter. You could go either way and you'll end up at the same spot. So let's take a look at this. You know, a lot of you are still wanting to have a piece of patty paper around, and that's okay. I will just say I know from experience that this is where B prime ends up going. And I'll finish off the other ones. The A prime would end up going. So take a look at this pattern, though. Look at this. B was at -4 comma 1. And notice where B prime ended up. It ended up at 4 comma -1. And that pattern is exactly what happens when you want to rotate an object about the origin 180 degrees. We're literally just changing the sign. So if you look at A was at -5, -1. Well, A prime is going to be at 5, 1. This right here is where A prime ends up going. And let me write its coordinates. It's at 5 comma 1. C rather is at -2, -2. Well, they're both going to become positive. So C would end up being at 2, 2. So here it is, 2 comma 2. And that is C prime. So you can see this triangle now. I hope you can. And this is the triangle that results when you rotate the original triangle about the origin 180 degrees. And our answer to the question is where does B prime end up being? B prime ends up being at 4 comma -1. So over here I can write B prime is at 4 comma -1. And you know, it's not as necessary with reflections. I will have patty paper available if you want, but you know, this transformation rule, I love it. If you want to rotate, I'll write it up here, rotate it 180 degrees about the origin, here's the transformation rule. Any x comma y point goes to the opposite of the x that you had and the opposite of the y you had. So this is a very nice summarizing rule for how do you rotate something 180 degrees about the origin. Not that we ever stated this rule or required that you memorize this rule, but my hope is that you do things enough that you're like, hey, what's the shortcuts here? Well, that's the shortcut. Just take the opposite of x and y and you get where it goes.